our assessment today is the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, or the COPM. The COPM is an individual measure designed to detect change in a client's self-perception of occupational performance over time.
Our client today that we will be looking at is Linda. She's a 50-year-old woman suffering from chronic back pain from 2 years ago when she fell off of her horse.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, and I'm going to be your occupational therapist today. Today we're just going to be assessing some issues that you have going on, and then we'll rate them later on. But for starters, do you have any issues with your self-care, whether that's personal care, hygiene, moving around in your house, anything in that sort?
I think right now it's just with my back pain, I can't really do my hair or shower. It's a big struggle for me, and obviously that's really important, and it's hard for me to just kind of get around.
Yeah, it can definitely be an issue to shower and bending down and things like that. Do you have any issues with your productivity at work, keeping up at the house, anything like that?
I run a farm at my home, so it's kind of hard to get my animals ready and bending down to get the eggs from my chickens and just kind of taking care of my animals.
Yeah, that can definitely take a toll since it's part of your daily tasks. Does it affect anything with your leisure? You could be gardening, reading a book, anything in that nature, something you enjoy doing?
I do struggle. I love to garden, but it's hard for me to bend down and things like that. It really causes a lot of pain. And then I do host card club every month, so being able to actually get my things ready in the house and host and clean and things like that are a really big struggle for me.
So it sounds like some of your issues that you're having are with showering, feeding and helping your animals, washing your hair, and hosting your card club, which was cleaning up the household and getting it ready for that, and some of your gardening. So now we're going to go right through your issues, and we're going to start with importance, and then we'll go to performance and satisfaction.
Okay.
So we will start here with importance, and you can rate it 1 through 10, starting with 1 not important at all and 10 extremely important. So how important is showering to you in your daily routine?
I would say 10 because I don't want to smell bad, and I really enjoy just taking care of myself and focusing on my self-care.
Yeah. I can see why that can be important to you because self-care can also help boost your mood, and you obviously don't want to go around with an odor. Okay, so now let's go to performance. It's also 1 through 10, 1 being not able to do it, and 10 able to do it extremely well.
I would say 5 or 6 because I can do it to an extent. It's just kind of hard, and the pain really kind of stops me at times. It's a struggle on some days, and some days I can do it really well. So I would say in the middle.
Do you think it's a 5 or 6 depending on the day of your pain?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to satisfaction. 1 being not satisfied at all, and 10 extremely satisfied. So how do you feel about being able to perform this task?
I would say 4 at the moment just because I'm not able to do it very well, so I'm not really satisfied with that, which is why it's one of my top 5 problems that I stated.
All right. Now moving on to taking care of your animals, we will start back with how important it is. So 1 being not important at all, and 10 being extremely important.
I think I would also say 10 for this one just because, my farm is my job. That's where I make my money, and the farm is also where, the meat comes from for my family and other families because I sell it. So I would say 10 just because of it being my job.
Yeah. Do you think it's also important because of the care of the animals because they can't really do these things themselves?
For sure, yeah.
Okay. Now for performance, not able to do it as 1 and 10 able to do it extremely well.
I would say 4 just because it's a big struggle and I have so many animals. It's kind of hard to get them all. So sometimes I try to do it in separate days and try to plan it out, but a lot of times I don't know how my pain's going to be, so it's really just a toss-up.
Yeah, being able to move them around and bend down a lot, I'm sure it takes a toll. Now for satisfaction, 1 not being satisfied at all and 10 extremely satisfied.
I would say a 3 just because where it's my job, it's kind of something that I absolutely have to do, so I'm not satisfied with the fact that I can't really do it.
Yeah. Okay, so next, the issue that you address is styling your hair and fixing it. So back to importance, 1 not being important at all and 10 being extremely important.
would say 6, just because it's something that I like to do when I get out of the shower and it makes me feel good. And with the farm being my job, there's people coming often to, check things out and buy things off of me. So, keeping myself together is really important to me.
Yeah. So now for performance, 1, not being able to do it, and 10, being able to do it extremely well.
I would say 7, although it does depend on the day. I can usually just kind of wake up and try to do things without, raising my arms above my head and things like that, but the pain does get in the way sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm sure it depends on what hairstyle you do and what you're doing to it. So now for satisfaction, 1, not satisfied at all, and 10, extremely satisfied.
I would say 8, just because I can do it sometimes and sometimes it doesn't really matter, but it is something that's pretty important to me.
Okay. So you mentioned that when you host Card Club, you struggle with cleaning and getting your household prepared for your guests. How important is that to you? 1, not being important at all, to 10, extremely important.
I would say 9, just because me hosting Card Club is kind of my social aspect of life, and I also really like to keep my house really clean and like for it to be a place for my friends and my family and just people that I enjoy being around to come over and, spend time with me. So it's really important that I have it clean and, up to standards.
Yeah. So for your performance, 1, not able to do it, or 10, able to do it extremely well.
I would say 6, just because I only have to do it a few times a month, but I do like to keep my house clean like every day. I like to go through and pick up things every day, but sometimes it's kind of hard, and it's something that, boosts my mood in the morning when I wake up and the house is clean. Like, that's a good thing for me.
Yeah, and I'm sure your performance depends on how much you have to clean.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the day. So now for satisfaction, 1, not satisfied at all, to 10, extremely satisfied.
I would say 5, just because I would like to be able to do it more often, and since it is a mood booster in the morning, I would like to be able to do it every night.
Okay, your last issue that you mentioned was gardening. So for importance, 1, not being important at all, to 10, being extremely important.
I would say 10, just because a lot of times in my gardening, the things that I garden are things that I eat and that I share with my friends and family, so I like to be able to offer that to them.
Yeah. So for performance, 1, not able to do it, and 10, able to do it extremely well.
I would say 4, just because it's hard for me to bend down or sit on my knees or sit down and then get back up. It brings a lot of pain with my back, and then a lot of times it's while I'm doing it, but sometimes it's not while I'm doing it, and later in the night I start to feel it.
Yeah. So for satisfaction, 1, not satisfied at all, to 10, being extremely satisfied.
I would say 6, just because it's something that I am able to do. It's just the pain kind of gets in the way sometimes.
Yep.
Okay. So after interviewing with Linda, we're now going to take a look at scoring. So from this chart, we measured performance, importance, and satisfaction. So for all of her categories, we had showering, taking care of her animals, taking care of her hair, garden club, cleaning the house, and then her gardening. So we will add up all of her total scores for importance. So it was a total score of 45, and the highest score you can get is a 50. We added up all of her scores for performance, and she had a 26, and the highest you can get is a 50. And then for satisfaction, we added them up, and she got a 26 out of 50. So then we'll look at the average score for each category. Her average score for importance was a 9. So these tasks are very important to her. Her satisfaction average score was a 5.2. And as well as performance, it was a 5.2. So she does want to improve on these tasks. So this is the first time we meet. Next time we meet with her, we will go into the other 2 categories on this chart and measure her change in performance, hoping to see a change from the first time we meet to the second time we meet.